And I was a camp director of Camp Wise, a small camp, probably 1/5 the size of New Jersey Y camps.
When he went to Camp Wise as a kid, that trip on that bus that first day is what decided his life for him, laid out the plan for his life, that's what he wanted to do. And his thing has always been, it sounds crazy, but somebody would say, "What did you do today?" And he said, "I helped the Jewish people." He really means it.
Lenny and I were camp directors together in the 70s. He was at Camp Wise in Cleveland, and I was at Camp Lakeland in Buffalo, on opposite sides of the lake. And Lenny came here to work, and all of his old buddies like me immediately made fun of him being in the ivory tower, losing contact with all of us. And never did we think that tenure would end up almost 30 years.
You know, when I came to JCCA the first time in 1972, you were here. I came back in 1988, you were here. And I sense, even though you say you're leaving, you're going to be here forever, because there is no such thing as JCCA Association without Lenny Rubin.
Your insight, your wisdom has always just risen to the top and been a voice that has been able to pull people together, has been able to really get to the heart of what needs to be gotten to, and to also push us to make sure that our ethics, our values are in concert with the work that we do.
And I always felt like I benefited in my relationship, my ability to work with people and just to walk into a JCC and work with people, because they had this great relationship with Lenny, and they really trusted Lenny. And it made people feel that they could trust anyone that came out from the JCC Association.
He doesn't get angry, he doesn't raise his voice. Media will go on, he'll sit there for sometimes 30, 40 minutes without saying anything, and then when he's ready to speak, he has something to say which really pulls the discussion together and gives people a perspective that maybe they didn't have in the heat of the discussion.
Made me think of all the contributions that Lenny's made to the movement over the years, and they don't come just in terms of his intellectual vibrancy and the expertise and years of experience that he's used to influence so many people throughout the field, but it's the special kind of person that Lenny is that we're not going to be able to replace as easily, and we're going to miss him very much for that reason.
He loves to say, "You gotta do the right thing," and it always sticks in my head. We'll get into a debate about some situation, and I'll be venting about how angry I am at somebody, or I don't want to talk to them, or whatever, and Lenny will come back with, "You gotta do the right thing." And I really think that captures who Lenny Rubin is.
Lenny is the consummate professional. He's done a wonderful job in the Jewish Community Center movement and for the JCCA. And of course, I'm particularly pleased to mention that Lenny is a Clevelander. And we always expect great things from Clevelanders, and he has certainly delivered.
Our biennials really are pulled off seamlessly, and the many lay leaders who have been involved have all had wonderful experiences working with Len, and the attendees at the biennials don't have any idea when they get there of how much work has gone in to the biennial to allow it to run as smoothly and effectively as it has, and that's really credit to Lenny.
The JCC Maccabi Games, your wisdom, your mentorship, your behind-the-scenes work, you talk about always doing the right thing, you talk about staying on that high road, you always found a way to make things better. And for that, not only will I be grateful, but I think for the thousands and thousands of kids that have never met you, and then again, have never met me, we did the right thing.
We want to start developing a program for youth in the arts. The Arts Fest was the stimulus to do that. The idea was the games, the model was people who played against each other competitively. This activity didn't necessarily have to be competitive, but then you have to have a structure for it to work. And how do you keep the kids involved and interested over a whole week without competition.
Fast forwarding through lots of different programs. The most recent is the JCC Maccabi Arts Fest, which is a tribute to having a vision and kind of sticking with it and being able to make something happen and dream something into reality.
One of the things that I think really hit me, especially when I first came here, and the fact that he was so passionate about Arts Fest, was words of wisdom. Lenny's, I think, not always a man of many, many words, but what comes out is usually very wise and very important to hear.
Lenny always had the most positive outlook of anyone I knew. He said, "Don't worry, everything will be fine." And in the end, generally it was. So that was probably one of the best lessons I ever learned from Lenny.
Lenny became a friend and a teacher, and in many ways a mentor.
Calm, and he had a calm demeanor about him, which if there's one thing I'll always miss about him, it was never a sense of panic, never a sense of urgency. It was just, we'll get it done.
Lenny's attitude was always, don't give up, everything's going to be fine, and I'm going to get through this. And it was that personally, professionally, I often think of him when I'm in a tough situation, thinking, what would Lenny do?
The strength that you had and you continue to have is truly something that I envy, and it's something that I aspire to do every day.
We spent our time in an ethical start studying the Jewish text. You are a living embodiment of the text, of the things that we were learning. I really miss you around the office, learning from you as you walked through the illness, of just watching the incredible dignity of your life.
I first met Louis Stolzenberg in the pool of Grossingers when we were camp directors.
From being swimming buddies, he became a very good friend, and he became my consultant of consultants. When I had an issue, when I had a problem, after I would work through the kibitzing with him a little bit, which is always fun, he was the guy that always gave me the straight line. He was the guy that always showed me the right way.
In you, I find a friend who has deep insight, not just into JCC Association, but into the Jewish world.
We've been through a whole lot, and this year has been a big year of changes for both you and myself, and you're adding just more change for me now. I wish you all the best of luck and love and happiness as you and Laura continue on your life. Take care. Love you much. Shalom. Take care. Bye.
At the Purim Carnival, when he was a senior in high school, Lenny went and tried to marry as many girls in the little marriage booth as he could, and I was one of them that he married that afternoon. And then in the evening, I think he was going to go through the list and call people to go out with him. And the first girl he asked said no, and the second girl he called was me. And we've been together ever since. Michelle is married to Russ, and they have been married since 1995, and they have 3 little boys, Jared, Todd, and Corey, and they're, of course, the light of their Sabba's life, and mine too. And
I think that he's a great role model and a great grandfather, not a great grandfather, a great, grandfather. Since the day I've known him, really the thing that stands out.